This has been quite a heated discussion during all of this. You've been saying what? Come on up here and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Leslie Akoka, and I'm a therapist, and I work with girls in trouble and women in prison. But before I introduce anything about myself, I want to point out a young lady who's here today, again, who I've never met, who has had a baby 18 days ago, but who got up to come here, who was shot in October of this year when she was 4 months pregnant. And she is counseling girls who are coming up. This girl is only 17 years old.
I was talking to you, thank you so much, Leslie. I was talking to you, in fact, during the break, and you were saying that you had a lot to say about being a mother, being a gang member, and wanting to have gotten out. What were you telling?
See, when you get in a gang, you join a gang, you know, that's your heart and all. You know, I want to give her credit, you know. She was involved in a gang, but just because she was involved in a gang doesn't mean her daughter's, just because she still maybe look like a gang member, her daughter's going to grow up to be, you know. When you're joining a gang, you're going to want the best for your kids. You know, look what gangs got me. I have a daughter. I'm not going to let my daughter, you know, going through things I used to do. I'm going to do my best and give her education and make sure she goes the straight way and knows, you know, she don't take the turns I took.
Are you still a member of a gang now?
Yes, I'm still a member of a gang, but I don't kick it with them. I still say hi and bye to them. But, you know, I'm a mother now, you know, I got to spend more time with my daughter. I have to raise her by myself because the father is not around.
Well, will the gang help you raise your daughter?
Yes, the gang will help me raise my daughter. You know, if I need anything, if I need Pampers, if I need milk, you know, there comes a time they'll give me money. Doesn't matter where it comes from.
Let me explain something else to you.
Sure, Bubba.
You know what? I've got a lot of responsibility. This is my responsibility right here. She's my responsibility. Let me tell you what. My daughter does not go hungry. None of you people pay my rent. None of you people put food on my table. You know what? I'm barely on welfare. You know what? I've got a job, a full-time job. I don't know about half of you people have jobs, but you know what? I do.
Okay, but let me ask you this too. I mean, for the folks who aren't as savvy on gangship as everybody else here, does that mean you also pack a pistol? Do you also go on rumbles?
Dear, you know what?
You also...
Let me tell you what I fight with.
Yeah.
I fight with my mouth and I fight with my fist if I have to. Let me tell you what. If you come across my daughter in the street and you so much as touch my daughter, this is my life. I gave life to this child and nobody is going to touch her. You understand me? This right here is my life.
You even had a situation where she got in some trouble at school. Somebody was trying to mess with her, and what'd you do?
Mom's here. Mom will always be here for her. You understand? This is my responsibility.
Well, tell us what you did. Tell everybody what you did, though. The little girl was messing with baby Boo, and what did Mama Boo do? What did you?
Tell you what, I'm not going to hesitate to take somebody. I'm not going to hesitate to get somebody after the person who's after my daughter, because you know what? This is my responsibility. Nobody out there is watching my daughter. Look, I go to work.
So what happens was that you and your girls would beat up the girl.
Half of the people out here don't know where their kids are 24 hours a day. But you know what? I do know where my daughter's at.
What she
when
did.
When she gets home from school.
Boo-boo, hold on.
I know where she's at.
What did you do? You got a group of your gang folks together and went and kicked that little child's butt, right?
Look, let me tell you.
Is that what you did?
She's going to get her butt kicked, or my daughter's going to get her butt kicked. It's a guarantee it's not going to be my daughter. It's not going to be my daughter.
Oh, excuse me, but wait a minute.
We'll be right back. We got to take a break, folks. We'll be right back with more questions in just a minute. What's your question? We continue this debate, this talk about teenage girls and violence all throughout the commercial. If you're just joining us, this is what we're talking about. Young lady, you had a point you wanted to make.
Yes, I was just concerned about the mother and daughter team. She says how she's concerned about her child's welfare and her survival, yet she feels it's okay to jeopardize the survival of someone else's child, beating up someone else's child. That's not helping your daughter.
I'm not jeopardizing nobody's child. Did you ever think that child was jeopardizing my child first? Then you know what? It's either, hey, you come and get that child's gonna get your child. Look, I'm a working mother. Let me explain something to you. I can't be there 24 hours a day for her, but somebody has to be.
Question.
I would like to ask one of the teenagers, perhaps the second one with the glasses on.
Taja.
Taja, where do you see yourself in 10, 20 years? Still fighting or robbing people? You'll be 30 or 40 years
if I
old.
have to, I will still be doing it.
Tasha, I mean, come here.
You said somebody brought up the question before that are there any gangs or organizations out there that do promote positive things? I represent an organization called the Zulu Nation, Peace I Keep, Peace Queen. What's going on is out here in New York, it's hard to survive. For those of you who do not know about living on the streets, it's hard to survive out here. But in my organization, we promote peace and unity. For the people, the brothers and the sisters out there who do not have money to feed their family, we bring dues, each and every one of us who do have that money, and we give it to those who need that money.
So wait a minute, what I hear you saying, and all you young people in this row right here are part of this unity group, right? And do you ever hook up with some of the kids who are involved in gangs and say, we're here to help you?
Yes,
so these are young people, as I hear it, who are taking a chance. Thank you, sweetheart. I really appreciate that. These are young people who are taking the chance to go out and say, I will help you if you need change,
but
right?
You can't be there for everybody.
Yeah, okay. Hold on, just a question.
Thank you. I'm sitting here listening to everything that's happening, and the message that I'm hearing is that we're justifying the reasons for going into gangs, and from what I'm seeing, it's a lack of a family unit from the get-go. But what I'm not hearing is what is going on in the gangs, the shooting, the killing, and that has to stop, and it is all our
Well, you know
problems.
what? That does have to stop. That does, and I do agree with that. That does have to stop.
But can you tell us what types of activities that gangs do? I mean, because what we hear, and I don't know if it's the movies or the news, but what we hear sounds pretty factual, and that is that there's murder, there's attacks, there's robberies.
What you hear is true. You know what? I've got brothers who got shot. I've got 2 brothers who've been shot. Brother-in-law's been shot. Brothers have been stabbed. But let me explain something to you. I'm not wishing this on my daughter. Like I said, I'm there for my daughter. I am there for my daughter.
Baby boo, let's hear from you a little bit. What do you think? I mean, when you go to school and everybody knows you're part of a gang family, does that give you more respect, or do you think you could have that respect without that affiliation?
No, it's just you don't have to tell everybody you're from a gang. If you need respect, you gotta earn it. You can't just say, well, I'm from a gang, you have to respect me.
Well, what did you think when your mother came down there with her girls and attacked that little girl who had been picking on you?
See, my mother didn't attack her.
But her friends did.
Her friends didn't
Well,
either.
the word of your mother got those folks on that little girl. So
Yeah.
what did you think about that? Was that a strange situation for you, or did you?
No, it's just I think the girl deserved it because, you know.
It just lets you know that her mother can be there for her. Her mother can be there for her.
Question.
I'm going to comment on one of the response that Liddy's saying in the first row view with the white and black on. She says we have to take responsibility for them. Why can't they take responsibility for them first, themselves first, and then ask us for help? Why shouldn't we always have to help them out right away?
That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. We've asked for help. You know what? Let me explain to you. I've asked for help for housing, for more food, but you know what? I've got to get up and I've got to go to work.
Just like everybody else.
No,
we all go to work. Let her answer. No, I'm going to.
My job has me day and night. I can't be there day and night for her. Do you understand me? I've got a baby. She has a babysitter, mind you. She's being watched 24 hours a day. I know where my daughter's at.
Question from the audience here.
Yes, I have a comment and a question. I've heard a lot of reasons why you get in gangs, lack of money, housing. Here's my son, and he's 28 years old, and I'm a single mother. But I instill morals and values within him. I taught him to work. We live in a society where We have a lot of social agencies where you can get help if you need it. You teach your child to network, teaching them to take and to be in a gang and to hurt other people. That's not realistic. That's the wrong perception. That can only lead to them going to jail all the time.
Yeah.
Where we made our mistakes is, yeah, you're right. We shouldn't do what we do, but we made the mistakes. Okay, I'm 26 years old. I made the mistake when I was younger, and I paid for it. I went to prison. I was sent to prison. I know I deserve to be there.
What did you do?
Do I have to tell these people?
Well, we want to know what you're in prison for.
No, what I did is...
No, you don't. You don't
I don't have to tell you. I don't, okay. No, I'm not gonna let you come at me and try to put me down. Okay, what I did, I committed a crime, and I hurt somebody, and I paid for what I did. I got hurt, plus I went to prison, and while I was in prison, my daughter was molested. What about my baby?
Well, let me tell you something. There's some ladies out there, wait a minute, and there's some ladies out there, Brett, who are saying, you're still walking the streets, and what about my baby?
But okay,
we'll talk about that after this.
You can get like you can get a 22 for like $50.
If you got to carry a weapon, just make sure you shoot the right person for the right reasons.
Today about teenage girls and violence. You had a statement before we went into break.
Yeah, I wanted to say to Brett, what were you doing in jail? If you're supposed to take the responsibility for your child would have never been molested if you were outside taking care of her.
Excuse me? Because somebody tried to rape me, so I went back at him. It was self-defense. That's the only reason I went to prison. But because I have tattoos, they put me down.
Brett, somebody says two wrongs don't make a right.
But it was self-defense. That's the only reason I went.
Then why did you go to jail?
Because the man had money and I did it, and because I had to. Okay, where was my lawyer?
Question from the audience. Question from the audience here.
You know, what we seem to have here on the roster, everybody here seems to blame somebody else for these terrible behaviors. Your behaviors for doing, you said, what I got to do. With all these agencies, every church in New York, if you went to any minister and asked for help, they would not turn you down. We have enough services in New York and all over the United States.
We don't live in New York.
But your mind is set on green.
In New York.
And it is not just New York, but I think there are people who are echoing this voice all across the nation who say there's not a church in a community that wouldn't help you. We all know the bureaucracy and that agencies are full of problems. And we all have problems.
I've never heard of it.
Thank you very much.
You got it twisted.
Okay.
We have it twisted.
Let me bring some other folks in here before we go any further. So far, we have met some girls who are still getting into trouble, mainly because they are still into gangs. Now I want you to meet two girls who are doing time for their crimes. This is the prison in California. It's called the Ventura School, and that's where Martha and Cynthia are both doing time. They start their day like normal students. They get up, they have breakfast, they get ready for class. But these are not normal students. Martha's serving time for attempted murder. Cynthia's in for second-degree murder. They go to classes, they learn about music, they learn about history, but unlike other teenagers, these girls have lost all of their freedom, basically, because of the crimes that they committed being gang members. At the end of the day, when most of us are sleeping in our beds, these two young ladies are locked up in their cells. Cynthia, Martha, I'd like to welcome you to the show today. I'm glad you're tuning in. Surely you've been listening to some of this conversation. You're shaking your head there, Cynthia. What are you reacting to? What was it, something that you heard that really wanted you to jump through the screen and say, wait a minute, America, let me tell you this side of the story?